Hey, I'm Jim Bucher.
And I'm Michelle Kingsfield. Welcome to another episode of Meet Your Hometown Attorneys. You'll learn more about the Dayton area's largest and most successful personal injury law firm, Dyer, Garofalo, Mann Schultz.
And we'll meet some of the attorneys and also hear stories from the clients who have been helped by the firm.
So stay with us for the next 30 minutes. It's Meet Your Hometown Attorneys. I want to welcome you to another edition of Meet Your Hometown Attorneys, and joining me, co-founders of Dyer, Garofalo, Mann Schultz, Doug Mann and Mike Dyer.
Hello,
always a pleasure, gentlemen.
That's nice to be here. Nice to be here always.
So when we start talking about finding an attorney and we get to that point where we might need someone, as a consumer, the first thing I want to do is, number one, know a good attorney, and number two, how do I figure that out? That's the main question. You all have all kinds of accolades that we can talk about, and I don't know that we can get through all of them, but one of them are super lawyers. And it sounds fantastic, like you're Superman with the cape.
We get to wear the cape, and we have a lot of fun
great.
with it. But no, the number one, most of our clients come from old clients, or tell their friends and family, or doctors or lawyers, because they know we do a good job. And we have a client satisfaction rating of 97% or better, which means a lot to Mike and me. But there are a lot of rating services, which Mike can tell you about a few of them, that people should look up when they're trying to find an attorney after an accident. So
yeah, there's a lot of attorneys that advertise on TV like we do, but I think just because somebody's on TV or a friend says they were good, you probably want to check and see what kind of ratings they have from the various rating services. Probably the top one out there is called Martindale-Hubbell, and that is a rating service that judges and other lawyers use to rate lawyers in town. And fortunately, for many years, my firm has had an AV rating, which is the top you can have, and we are included in their book of preeminent attorneys, which means that if you're looking for a lawyer, you at least have judges and other lawyers in the town saying these guys are darn good.
And it's not just you and former clients, which is a big testament to you all as well.
Right.
But non-biased, and that's definitely what you want to look for.
And you mentioned the super lawyers.
Absolutely.
We're going to put the pictures of all the super lawyers from our firm up on the screen.
We have 11 of them now.
11 of them. Yeah. We have 11 super lawyers, and I think 1% of lawyers in America get chosen to be super lawyers, which sounds kind of like a cartoon, but it's a very prestigious honor to get, and we're fortunate to have 11 people that have either been made super lawyers, or if you're under 40, you can't be a super lawyer, you can be a rising star. So we're very proud of that honor. And it's just one of those things that it helps us when a client looks us up or researches whether or not we have the ability to help them and do it well. And if they do that, they're going to see that we are top rated.
Well, absolutely. I mean, that's what you want, is you want the best, and you want someone that's top rated. And that's amazing. Less than 1%.
Well,
and here we are in Dayton, Ohio, in the Miami Valley, and we have, what? Less than 1% of the top lawyers. I mean, that's crazy.
So we have a lot right here in Dayton. So, and also, what about the $1 Million Club and multi-million dollar? You want to talk about that?
That's another honor we have gotten. Doug and I have both been inducted into the $1 Million Advocate Circle and the Multi-Million Dollar Advocate Circle. Those are honors you get if you settle or win a jury trial of $1 million or better, or with the multi-million, several $1 million or better, and we've both done that. I think virtually every lawyer in our firm is eligible for that induction. They just haven't made the applications, but in our firm, we work very hard to satisfy the clients, and we do a lot of $1 million cases, but we also work very hard on the smaller cases.
That's
Absolutely.
That's right.
And that's what we're going to hear more about as we continue throughout this show, is we're going to hear from some of the clients. We're going to hear from what you do in the community as well. So this isn't just, the accolades that you get for doing such a great job at what you do, but also just all the other things that as a firm, not just you two, but as a firm as a whole, what you all do.
We have a great firm, and we're very proud of them. They're our family, so we're happy to show them on this show.
And your clients end up being family too.
No,
as
they
we
are.
learned, too.
You'll see some of that.
It's fantastic. Always a pleasure.
Nice.
Thank you much.
Well, coming up, meet a client who needed the Tiger's help. We'll be right back.
Recently, an injured client brought this pile of letters to my office. Books, brochures, DVDs, these were all sent to one client. We're always surprised at the lengths out-of-town law firms will go to trying to make you think they're from our hometown. Don't fall for it. Call us. We're your hometown law firm.
I want to welcome you back to Meet Your Hometown Attorneys, and it's time now to meet another satisfied client of Dyer, Garofalo, Mann Schultz. And joining me once again, Mike Dyer and Pam Horsley. Welcome.
Thank you.
So first of all, let's talk about how you got involved, because unfortunately, it was not a good situation for you.
No. I was in a very traumatic car accident on I-75. Semi came over into my lane abruptly and attached itself to me and dragged my car for a little over a mile.
That had to be absolutely terrifying.
It was unbelievable.
She had her windows
Absolutely
blow out of her
unbelievable.
car. She was drugged. She was finally released and spun. I mean, it was a horrible accident for you.
Yes, it was.
And so after all of this happened, can you tell us, first of all, some of your injuries, or what was the end result for you after all of that? It sounds horrific.
I was very lucky, really. I had cuts and scratches, had bulging discs. Probably the worst injury was the emotional injury that
When
I
you say
sustained.
emotional.
I don't quite know how I'm alive today. I was sure that I was going to die during that time.
I think she told me she, in her mind, said goodbye to her family while all this was going on, because it was not a very, it was like, a lot of wrecks are very quick. This one, she was drugged, and she had time to think about the consequences.
It was very surreal, a very surreal experience. I just thought to myself, so this is how you die.
Not a good thought at all.
No.
And that type of trauma we see all the time causes the post-traumatic stress syndrome that she had, which makes it, even though a lot of people are very strong, when you go through something like that, a lot of times your mind will make you be afraid to go out, afraid to drive, fear that it's going to happen again. And it's just one of those things that we see all the time, and Pam definitely had those symptoms.
So can you drive right now? I mean,
I can drive now. I can drive to work. I can drive most places. I have difficulty at night just because I can't see what's coming at me as well, so it makes me a little nervous. What's terrible about this is that, for the 25 years before where I work now, I drove probably 1,000, 1,500 miles a month.
Wow.
That was part of my position. So I'm not afraid of driving at all. Go to Florida, go to Myrtle Beach every year,
But not
drive.
anymore.
No, that I won't be driving.
Not that highway driving,
No,
at least.
no, I can't get on a highway at all.
That was taken away from her by this accident. And this was a situation where as we were representing her, we were working with the insurance company to get a fair settlement, and they never quite made a great settlement. They came within that range of fair, and I suggested to her, let's go to jury trial, because my firm is one of the best at trying cases. And Pam, because of emotional issues, just felt it was better to settle it. And like I told her, you're my boss, I'm not your boss. I give you my recommendation. As long as you're happy in the final analysis and feel good about my firm, I will do whatever you want.
And so in the end, obviously you're here today. So tell us how having them represent you really helped change your life and helped you start the healing process.
Oh, it was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. I've been in the sales and service industry for 30 years, so I recognize the benefits of a service, of a professional service. I'm pretty spunky, so I can usually do it on my own, and I have done it on my own for many, many, many years. But after this accident, I felt drained, emotionally drained, disoriented. I was injured in so many ways, and I knew that I just couldn't handle it, and I knew that I had to hire a professional, and it was well worth it to do that. So I got a recommendation from someone that I worked with, of an attorney at their firm, and I made a phone call and started with them and was very, very glad that I did.
That is fantastic, and we're glad to see that you're doing well today.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, coming up on Meet Your Hometown Attorneys, Social Security Disability Claims, what you need to know before you ever file.
My firm has been rated as one of the top personal injury law firms in America. We've helped thousands of injured people, and I'm proud to say our clients give us a 97% satisfaction rating. They're proof a tough, smart attorney makes all the difference. If you or a family member are injured, let us prove it to you.
So glad to have you back. It's time now to introduce you to two more members of the Dyer, Garofalo, Mann Schultz family, Jeff Chenault and Danielle Eldridge. Thanks so much for being here.
Hi, thank you.
You two work in the Social Security area. First of all, difficult area.
It is. It's a process that's a lot more complicated than a lot of people think, and it can be very overwhelming to the people that are in that position. There's a lot of detailed information that Social Security requests from people, and just the process itself, the sheer amount of paperwork, forms, and red tape that you have to go through is very intimidating to a lot of our clients.
And your law firm does one thing that most don't, and that is that you all will help with that process of putting together all of that paperwork versus a lot of law firms say, hey, you go ahead, file it, get the paperwork together. Once you're denied, then come to us.
That's right. A lot of firms do not do that. We, if we're able to, do assist in that application process for our clients. We'll bring them in from the beginning, gather all of the information, a lot of times gather medical records and everything up front to submit with their application to try to expedite the process with Social Security.
Fantastic. Danielle, you have been working with this division of Dyer, Garofalo, Mann Schultz for a couple years now. It's only been 3 years now that the firm has been doing this. But throughout that process, you kind of came up with a new idea and discovered something along the way. Can you tell me about that?
It's not so much a new idea, it's just something that I don't think a lot of people have touched base on, and it's our wounded warriors. A lot of our wounded warriors receive VA benefits, but a lot of them are not aware that they could also receive Social Security benefits as well. So with that being said, and thinking of my father, because he's former military and growing up in a military town such as Dayton, I think it's important that we address that and make them aware of what all they can get, because they've rallied, circled the wagon, so to speak, for us through the years. So it's our turn to try to give something back to them. So,
and that was very well received by Doug and Mike.
It seems to be, yeah.
And so now you're doing more of that.
We are doing more of that, definitely, most definitely.
And we have gotten positive outcomes for a number of veterans that have come through our office, and it is kind of surprising how many of them are going through this process. Their families are struggling and they don't realize that these benefits are available to them. A lot of people think that if they're getting the VA benefits, they're not eligible for Social Security benefits, and that's not always the case.
Is that the only reason? What else do you think that they might be going through that makes them not aware that they have the right to get these Social Security benefits as well?
In my experience, I think the biggest issue is the post-traumatic stress disorder. They're so overwhelmed with their own lives and coming home and trying to readjust, and not only are their bodies broken, but some of their minds are broken, so it's hard for them to function, and they're just not thinking clearly.
And it's also a situation where even their family, who are gathering around them and helping support them, a lot of times they're so focused on that they're not looking outside of that picture. They're so focused on their family member and trying to get them the help they need.
That is fantastic. And we've talked throughout these shows about just how much and how wonderful it feels, but also how much this firm gives back to the community. And this has got to be one of those things that makes you feel really good, and especially to help those people who, as you mentioned, did so much for us already. It was truly a pleasure. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Well, coming up, we'll hear how local schools are benefiting from the Tiger Safety Calendar.
You know me, and you know my law firm. My family's from Dayton, Ohio, and I come from a long line of hardworking family members, and now my firm is proud to represent injured workers' rights. Let my firm level the playing field and protect you and your family's future. Call us today at 1-800-INJURED and let us fight for you.
Hey, welcome back to Meet Your Hometown Attorneys. I'm Jim Bucher, and with us now is Jenna Rigg, who's the social media queen and also you handle all the social media. I mean, that's got to be a job in itself right there. But also handles the Tiger safety calendar, which is cool. Now, talk about this year's edition, and well, actually, back it up a little bit. Tell us how it all started, how that all began.
Well, we really wanted a way to get involved with the community to promote safety advocacy. And this seemed like a great way to partner with local students by doing the art contest. And we have 12 winners, and one winner is for each month of the calendar. And then we also have honorable mentions that we include as well.
Now, is this tough to judge? I always made a terrible judge because everything always looked good, and you're like, oh my gosh, I got to whittle it down to 12. I mean, is that tough?
It's very hard. We start pre-screening everything as it comes in and sorting the submissions, and then it goes to Mike and Doug, who ultimately decide who the winners are.
And then you go out to the schools, right, and present some checks, which is great. And then talk a little bit about that, because the whole school gets around. It's a big like pep rally, isn't it?
Right. We spend several days traveling around to the winners, and Mike and Doug deliver the prize money themselves to the winning students and also the art teachers. And we have to coordinate, when we're going to meet with the teachers and how long it takes to get to the school. So we usually take about a week to visit everyone.
About a week. And I'm sure with school budgets the way they are, they can use any kind of money they can get.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of times when we go visit teachers, they say, our budget has been cut, or there were other materials that I wanted to purchase that I wasn't able to. And, we really see a need for it in the community, and it's a great way for us to be able to be involved that way.
So if somebody's watching right now, how can they pick up a calendar? How do they get one?
They just have to go online. It's actually available free for download on ohiotiger.com. And you can go on the website, and all of the artwork is there as well, so you can look through that and be able to just have it right away.
Hey, we got to wrap this segment up in a second, but does it amaze you, the artwork? It just keeps getting bigger and better, doesn't it?
It does. Every year we have more submissions, and the talent is really just overwhelming.
Okay, well, speaking of some of the talent, Michelle Kingsfield has one of the lucky winners. Michelle, take it away.
Thanks so much, Book. I'm excited to introduce you to Gabby Braun and Caleb, a fourth grader with the Troy School District. And gosh, this is such an exciting story. She's all smiles, and that's absolutely what I love, and so is Caleb. So we were talking about the Tiger Safety Calendar, of course, and you're a winner, Caleb. Got to feel good about that.
Yes.
Yes, So I don't know who's the bigger winner here. I don't know if it's Gabby or if it's you, but it's a combination. So Gabby, talk to us about how you got Caleb involved into the safety calendar.
Well, last year I did the safety calendar, and I knew that I really wanted to work with this group of fourth graders. They're really talented, they're really driven, they're just so creative when they're working. So I picked about 10 fourth graders to work with at recess. And it was Caleb and 9 of his friends, and we spent about 6 recesses working, and Caleb also did some work at home, working on his own ideas, his own illustration ideas.
So how did you feel when your teacher came to you and said, hey, I want you to do this?
I was very excited.
Why were you excited?
Because art is one of my most favorite subjects, and intern in a contest, that's just really great.
And then to win, how great is that?
Extremely.
Okay, so let's just take a quick look. So she was saying that you came up with this whole idea on your own. So tell me about this drawing, because this is pretty darn awesome.
Well, she gave us a photo of it, and like this tiger, had his paw up in this log, but then I thought of it how it was, and then I put claws on it on the drawing. And then I just made it. Him scratching up the stop sign.
Okay, and then what you have up here, and so tell me all this background, because you've even got some words here. So what is your message on this?
Look both ways before you cross.
That's fantastic, right? Something we should all do. And this up here.
It showed there was a car in a big accident, and
right.
People can cause that from not looking both ways.
Yeah. And so, Gabby, this meant so much to you. Tell me about why.
Yeah, well, of course, for Caleb to get that recognition so early, when you get that award as a young kid, it's really amazing. But for the art department, we just recently had our budgets cut, like many other districts. So to get this $1,000, it allows me to have extra arts enrichment for kids, lets me not have to stretch that dollar so much, and
that's right.
lets me buy the supplies that the kids can do. Like Caleb just did a linoleum stamp, and I can buy those more expensive materials for the kids.
Fantastic. Congratulations to you both, and I guess the entire art department.
Yeah, thank you.
It's so great to have you guys. Thanks so much for coming.
Thank you.
Well, coming up, Jim Bucher talks with another one of our hometown attorneys, Ben Felton.
Tired of fighting red tape with your workers' compensation claim? Call 1-800-INJURED. Need help with your Social Security disability claim? Call your hometown law firm, Dyer, Garofalo, Mann Schultz. We can help you cut through the red tape and get all the benefits you deserve. Call 1-800-INJURED.
Hey, welcome back to Meet Your Hometown Attorneys. Jim Bucher here, and Doug Mann, and of course Ben Felton joins us. We're meeting more of the Tiger team. So Doug, why don't you tell us a little bit about Ben, but before we get into that, a new dad.
Yes, congratulations.
Congratulations
I
on
agree.
that.
Thank you.
And like Doug and I both said, get back to us when they hit the teen years. Okay, but that's a whole nother, that's another show, isn't it?
It is, but no, Ben's been with us about 2.5 years now. He started as a law clerk before he took the bar, and he was in our workers' comp section. We brought him up to the negotiations section because he's so good with clients. Clients love him. And now he's running our mini-lit department and also our Medicare lien department, which he's here to talk about. And we're very happy to have him part of the Dyer, Garofalo, Mann Schultz family. So
that's cool. Now, when I think Medicare and Medicaid, I think federal government, I think red tape, I think more red tape, and even more red tape. So what's this like dealing with the federal government?
It can be a nightmare. There's actually a lot of policies and procedures in place that can cause speed bumps and road bumps and getting a settlement offer to begin with. But I guess to break it down, Jim, what happens is if you're a Medicare beneficiary or a recipient of Medicaid benefits, what happens is if you're in an auto accident, for instance, Medicare or Medicaid can step in and make payments on your accident-related medical bills. Well, what few people understand is Medicare and Medicaid have federal and state rights to get that money back. They've got a federal and state right to reimbursement, and that comes directly out of your settlement funds. So I'm here to protect the interests of our clients, make sure Medicare and Medicaid are getting repaid what's fair and what they ought to be getting back, but also to protect our clients from getting sued in case we don't repay Medicare or Medicaid.
So when you say nightmare, describe that. Is there an atypical case?
Oh, gosh.
There's strict reporting requirements. Medicare and Medicaid have specific procedures you have to go through to get a final lien amount, to get that final amount that we have to repay them. And if you don't follow their procedures, then it can really cause a hurdle in even getting a settlement offer. So it can really delay a case.
And not to say anything, he'll sit on the phone for hours at a time waiting to get the information you need to close out a case. So we might get a good offer, but it takes us several months sometimes just to get the final numbers so we can close the case with the client.
Wow. So you don't want to obviously go this alone.
Oh, no.
No.
Right, could you? I mean, you've gone to law school. You're constantly re-educating yourself on all the Medicare, Medicaid issues. Could you imagine just me calling?
No.
I mean, I wouldn't want to deal with that. For crying out loud.
It can be a nightmare.
So, and obviously you like what you do.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I love the office, the staff, the attorneys. It presents challenging work, even with Medicare and Medicaid, but I enjoy it. I really do.
Now, do you see, is the Medicaid, now you have to educate me here, the Medicaid, Medicare, the laws of reimbursement, is that constantly changing?
It is. And actually, I have a seminar tomorrow I'm attending from.
You should come to it.
I should
Yeah, you could come on by.
What time is that? I'll try to make that. I'll leave that to the professionals.
Yeah, I would too.
So
from 11 to 6, stop on by.
Okay, I'll do that. Is it beverages? But you constantly have to re-educate yourself because it's constantly changing.
It changes all the time.
Yep.
That's why it's good to have Ben. He's on top of the law as it is, and he checks it all every week. So
now take us back. You've been doing this how long?
A long time. 30 years this
Okay,
year.
so
30 years.
Congratulations on 30. Take us back 30 years dealing with Medicaid.
Oh, it's changed. Oh my gosh, it was so much easier back then.
Right.
It seemed like, or maybe I was younger. It seemed had more energy back then. But now we got the young guys like Ben doing it, which is great for our firm. And a lot of firms don't know how to deal with this. We have our own specialists within our firm, so it really helps out our clients.
All right, and I can only imagine, I'm probably editorializing here, but if the government can't handle a website, I can only imagine how that's working right now. So you like the team, being part of the Tiger team?
Absolutely, I sure do. I actually from Indiana. My wife and I were going to go back to Indiana after law school, but They roped us in. We like it so much here.
And because he likes Indiana, we have an office in Indiana, and we're planning a couple more that he's going to take the Indiana bar. Maybe he doesn't know that till this moment.
Hey, there we go.
All right, well, listen, continued success to you. Nice meeting you.
Thank you, Jim.
Douglas,
All
good
right.
seeing you
good
again,
seeing
sir.
you. Yep.
So if you have any questions, you know who to call. All right, coming up on Meet Your Hometown Attorneys, a surprise guest from Doug Mann's past. You know anything about that?
I'm ready to find out.
Stay right there.
If you ride, rest assured, you've got the Tiger on your side. Call 1-800-INJURED today.
Welcome back to Meet Your Hometown Attorneys. Just an exciting thing happened today. This was not a segment that we had planned, and that was what makes it very exciting. Tell us what happened, Doug.
I was visiting one of the contest winners backstage, and this young lady walks up to me and she goes, "You know, I was your first personal injury client, Mr. Mann." And I'm like, and she told me her name. I'm like, oh my gosh, 26 years ago, I represented this then 10-year-old girl, took care of her, and she could tell you about the case, and she went on to tell me how the settlement that we had for her 26 years ago changed her life. So, and I said, can you talk about it today since you're here with your daughter? And go right ahead.
In March of 1987, I was walking home from school, and I got hit by a car. And Mr. Mann handled the case for my mother. It was a difficult case because I didn't cross in the crosswalk, but the guy didn't have a license, and there were some other twists and turns to the case, and I ended up getting a settlement. Mr. Mann took really good care of my mom and myself, and they kept my funds in a trust or a CD until I turned 18, and then I used the funds when I turned 18 towards my college education. So,
and she got her
I
degree,
got my degree from
got a
Wright
great
State.
job.
I have a bachelor's degree in Spanish. So I am very, very grateful for the work.
And I remember,
that
I
he did.
mean, I guess you remember your early ones, but it's like 26 years ago. That's a long time, and it's like so good to see people like this. And we know we do this throughout the community, but it's nice to just randomly run into one of my old friends. And unfortunately, we lost her mom last year, but she was a special lady too, and I became very close with him.
And you call him Mr. Mann now, but that's not what you called him then, right? Because you
No,
couldn't remember his
I couldn't
name.
remember his name. So I would go into the office and I'd say, "Mommy, we're going to see Mr. Cutie today."
Hey,
call him
Mr. Cutie, that's right. I haven't heard that for a long time. Huh?
Yeah, you know, probably in 26 years, right?
It's about 24 maybe.
Oh, well, it's so exciting because this has to be so exciting for you. I
It
know
really, it's
when you ran
touching.
into her and just the excitement and the connection that you had again.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
To be
It's
able to
amazing.
see your work and know that you really did make a difference
And
in her
it's
life.
because he cares. And when we were working with him, it came across that
Oh.
he really cared about what was going on with me.
Oh, thank
so
you.
we appreciated that.
Oh, I'm so glad to see you again. So thank you for showing up, and
I know.
congratulations to your daughter for the big win.
I know she won on the calendar
It's amazing.
contest.
It's
Yes.
a small world.
And
Small
so
world.
then we just threw you on this set, unbeknownst to you when you got up today that you were going to be on this as well. But it has just been a really great surprise and an enjoyment for all of us.
Yeah, and keep up the good work.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, you take care.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it. And stay right there. We have more of Meet Your Hometown Attorneys coming up right after this.
Before you hire an attorney, get the facts. Ask these questions. Do they have a real local office? Will you see an actual attorney? Are they one of the top-rated law firms in the nation? If you've been injured, you need the Tiger on your side. Contact us today.
Thanks so much for joining us for Meet Your Hometown Attorneys.
Hey, we hope you've learned a lot about how Dyer, Garofalo, Mann Schultz helps clients to get every dollar they deserve. And we hope you never need a personal injury attorney.
No, but if you do, be sure to contact Dyer, Garofalo, Mann Schultz. And to learn more about the firm, or if you need an attorney, go to ohiotiger.com or call 1-800-INJURED.